We're back at Rupp Arena, the final home game of the season for the Kentucky Wildcats, who have a record of 19-10. They are 8-6 in SEC play. Let's look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Bulldogs of Georgia, 11-18 on the season, 2-12 in the SEC. Terrence Woodbury, their main gun, he scored over 1,000 points in his Georgia career with Butler, Ware, Tompkins, and Jackson. And the Wildcats will line up this way with Patrick Patterson among the league leaders in scoring and rebounding. Jody Meeks, who is, as Larry indicated, the leading scorer in the Southeastern Conference. Michael Porter, Ramon Harris, and Jared Carter, the only senior on the Wildcat squad, getting the start tonight. Pete Herman is the interim coach of the Georgia Bulldogs. He brought a Navy team with David Robinson in here to play Kentucky into Rupp Arena during his 40 years in the coaching business. And, of course, Kentucky is coached by Billy Gillespie, who's trying to break a 2-game losing streak at the moment as the Wildcats fell here to LSU, blowing a 10-point second-half lead in their last outing. Big old Jared Carter there. You see him with his head sticking up above the rest. 43, 7'2" senior from Georgetown, Kentucky. SEC basketball presented in high definition. We're available by Raycom Sports. And Georgia controls the opening tap.
Cats will open up in a man-to-man defense, Tom.
John Cahill, J.B. Caldwell, Doug Sermons, as you saw, are the officials for tonight's game. Jared Carter getting the traditional start as a senior, playing some good defense that time against Albert Jackson, who, by the way, is a Kentuckian on this Georgia team from Arlington, Kentucky. There's a reach-in foul called on Harris, the first foul of the game, as he defends Terrence Woodbury. Kentucky 83-5 all-time on senior night. So if things weren't already bad enough for Georgia, winless on the road this season, losers by 23 at home to the Wildcats. They're trying to go against that trend as well. Terrence Woodbury, that's his 1,021st point as a Georgia Bulldog. The senior from Virginia Beach, Virginia, averaging 14 a game.
Missed a couple of games early with some injuries. He missed 4 of them, and back starting and playing very well since he's come back from that injury.
So Georgia has the first 2 of the game.
Bulldogs open up in the man-to-man defense.
Jody Meeks. And they recycle the offense. Carter to set a screen. Porter's in trouble. Patterson comes to get it. Right back to Porter. To Carter. He's missed the shot, but a put home by Patterson.
Patrick Patterson right back again. Boys, he had 2 good games. 28 points against South Carolina and LSU back-to-back, the last 2.
Carter had the shot partially blocked, I believe, and then Patterson cleaned it up.
Nice pass by Porter that time, driving on the baseline. And again, the finish by Patterson, something that the Kentucky fans have seen a lot of this year.
Patterson, the 4th leading scorer and 4th leading rebounder in the SEC. Jackson back out. Tompkins whips it cross court. Woodbury is fouled as he takes it to the rim.
Nice move by Terrence Woodbury that time. As he goes down inside, challenges Jared Carter. Carter getting a baptism quickly. They went inside to Jackson quickly, and then they went right at him as Woodbury tried to drive around him.
He commits the foul. There's the updated total on the career points for Woodbury. He has all 3 Georgia points at the free throw line.
I can remember when Terrence Woodbury came into the league, I thought he was going to be one of the really good players in this conference. His freshman year, he really played very well. Kind of tailed off in the middle his sophomore and his junior year, but picked it back up here in his senior year.
Made the All-SEC tournament team last year as Georgia surprised everybody by rolling to the title. Carter got it! Jared Carter, little used during his Kentucky career, but he said he wouldn't change a thing. Happy with his decision to come to Kentucky, though he hasn't played much. Gets the bucket.
You see the bench all stand up? I mean, they were all in unison out of their chairs. Oh, that's great.
Tompkins misses the outside shot, and Carter has a rebound as well.
Porter tried to get it to Patterson. Nice coverage inside that time. Tell you one thing that Tompkins doesn't get enough credit for. He's a pretty good defender out there.
Off a screen, Harris, open three, good!
You know, he played 28 minutes against LSU the other day. He did not attempt a field goal. Not one shot. First one he tries tonight goes to the bottom of the net.
So you're saying he hasn't missed a shot in 2 games?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Tom, your math is incredible.
Ware trying to get some space between himself and Porter, who's guarding him right in his grill. Woodbury, nice move, Terrence Woodbury, and he has all 6 Georgia points.
He did some serious navigating that time, trying to get down inside, left, right, and finally got it off the glass.
See the field goal shooting. Open shot for Patterson, can't make it. Butler kept it alive, and Woodbury cradles it for the Bulldogs. Here's Ware into front court in a hurry. Cut off, feeds it back out to Woodbury. Three-pointer on its way, good!
Tell you, he has really played well this season.
And today, tonight. 9 points for Georgia, 9 points for Woodbury. Porter rimmed out, went halfway down and came out, and Jackson the rebound gives it up to Ware. And Ware with a 3-point basket. So Georgia comes ready to play at Rupp Arena tonight.
Well, they are doing some 3-point shooting right now. The Kentucky better learn to defend. How about Carter with a nice move right here as he goes up and over Terrence Woodbury. Nice pick and roll. The catch and the finish. Watch Terrence Woodbury right here. This was his 8th and 9th points of the evening so far.
And then Ware hits the 3, so Georgia with a 5-point lead early. Less than 4 minutes into the game. And everybody that said Georgia had nothing to play for, they came in with a mission tonight, at least in the first 4 minutes of the game, ready to play here at Rupp Arena.
Tom, one of the areas that they really have been fairly successful in this year is shooting 3-point field goals. They're right about just above 35%. And they've got several guys that can shoot them, and 2 of them you just saw, Woodbury and Ware, the 2 of their leaders in that category.
8-0 run. Backdoor cut, Meeks, and one.
A little breakdown defensively on both ends. One for Kentucky, not guarding the 3 with Ware making the 3, and then that maneuver by Meeks going down inside. Good handling of the ball, good catch, and then the reverse layup going to the other side using the rim of the net to protect the shot.
Meeks caught Butler asleep with a backdoor cut, and then Tompkins, trying to help out, commits the foul. And the leading free throw shooter in the SEC puts it home. He has 3 of Kentucky's 10. 4 minutes into the game. Ware in trouble. Got rid of it to Woodbury. Tompkins drives against Stevenson and scores.
Tom, I really like this freshman. This is the 6th game I've seen this year for Georgia. Early in the year, I thought Tompkins, by the end of the season, might be the best freshman in the league. They've had a number of quality freshmen play in the conference this year. He's one of them.
Tompkins, they call him Trey because he is the 3rd. Short on that shot. The fans wanted a foul as Meeks went to the floor. Ware, a little bit out of control, turns it over. He was 1-on-2 and lost it out of bounds. But still, Georgia off to a good start at Rupp Arena. Here's a 3-pointer by Woodbury, and the Dogs are up 4. Georgia leading Kentucky 14-10 at the 15:25 mark in the opening half. And time for our interactive feature, the Alltel Text of War. Who will be Kentucky's MVP this year? Tough choice there. Patrick Patterson or Jody Meeks, S1 or S2. Text your answer to 55333.
See, knowing you the way I do, I know you're going to pick Patrick Patterson because you're one of those big brutes down inside. I would take the guard. I'm going to go with Meeks because I like the guards. The 6'4 shooters.
How can you go wrong either way?
Either way, absolutely.
Harris to Porter for 3.
Well, Tom, 3-point shooting for these 2 clubs tonight is remarkable.
So Porter makes it a 1-point game, and here's Georgia. Georgia's hit 4 of their first 5 shots, including 2 of 3 from three-point range and 4 for 4 at the free throw line. That was forced a little bit by Woodbury. It's blocked by Patterson.
Patterson trying to get some revenge for some of the blocks that he incurred the other day in that South Carolina game.
Darius Miller has come on for Kentucky. His Porter thought about another 3 and gave it up, nearly walked. Miller, the 6'7" freshman from Maysville. Patterson in traffic, draws the foul.
Nice move by Porter here, the catch and the shoot. They'd like to have a lot more of that from him. And again, watch Patrick Patterson. Kentucky's got 2 players, Patterson and Stevenson, among the leaders in blocking shots in the conference. Johnson down at LSU, and Bernardo has obscene numbers. I mean, nothing can get by SWAT.
Albert Jackson committed the Georgia foul as Patterson hits the first free throw to tie the game. 3 points for Patrick. For Kentucky, Kevin Galloway, the 6'7" junior, Sacramento, California, enters the game as Patterson nails both free throws.
I often think how much better would Patterson have been if Kentucky had a true center that played every night, where Patterson really is a power forward, actually. Plays at forward position, could be really good.
Georgia turnover, Porter caused it. Ricky McPhee, who just came into the game, the 6'1" junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia, defended closely by Porter, and Porter deflected the ball off the knee of McPhee. Kentucky's basketball. 2 turnovers by the Bulldogs. Patterson blocked by Jackson. And then deflected out of bounds as Galloway tried to feed it underneath.
Nice defensive play by Albert Jackson down inside as Patterson was wheeling to the basket. Miller made a nice pass away from the defense.
Porter needs some help. Got it into Galloway. Galloway spins on McPhee, delivers the pass. Porter a touch pass. But Stevenson can't convert, and Georgia takes it the other way. Some nice crisp passing, but no finish.
There has to be a payoff.
Woodbury taken away by Miller. 2-on-1, Cats. Miller and Galloway missed the layup.
Tom, the ball just flew out of his hands. It's a great pass by Miller.
Woodbury. Porter got a piece of it, and Patterson saves it for Kentucky. Darius Miller.
Good screen by Patterson that time for Miller. Kentucky doing a lot of perimeter passing. There's a good one inside.
Backside help, though, from Tompkins. Cut off Patterson at the rim. So Porter launches a 3, and he's 2 for 2.
He has slid a couple just inside inside the rim there. 2 good threes for Porter tonight.
And Kentucky has its biggest lead. This telecast featuring Kentucky, brought to you in part by the Kentucky Farm Bureau.
Stevenson with a nice defensive play that time to reach around the slap away.
4th turnover by Georgia. Porter wants it. He feels it now. Of course, if you follow Kentucky, you know much of the season, the fans urging Porter to shoot, and he wouldn't very often, but he wants it now. Here's Galloway launching a 3. That'll be out of bounds over the top of the backboard to Georgia.
Let's go back and take a look at the aforementioned Michael Porter as he drills one, his second one of this first half.
There's a 3-point shooting. Pretty good on both ends, huh?
You were talking earlier, Tom, about Georgia's turnovers. One of the problems they've had all season, and one of the reasons why they're 2-12 in the conference right now, is their turnovers. They average about 17 a game.
Zach Swansea on the floor for the Dogs. Feeds it inside to Chris Barnes, and he had his shot blocked.
Patterson got a piece of that one.
Second block for Patterson. Porter nearly lost it. Georgia hit it last.
Kentucky, as you said, very little margin for error if they're going to move up and not play that first day of the tournament. They've got to win both of their games here at the end and get a little bit of help.
Open three for Miller. Wide open three. First bucket for Darius Miller.
Tom, of all the freshmen they've got on this Kentucky squad, I would say he's come the furthest of anybody.
And he's been maybe the likely candidate to move up as that third scorer they've been looking for. Had that 17-point game against Tennessee here. Barnes blocked again. Swansea and McPhee knocked out of bounds by Porter. It'll be Michael Porter with a personal foul. Three blocks already for Patrick Patterson. 7 points. Well, that was during that commercial timeout as the folks at the University of Kentucky recognized a couple of old-timers.
It was very kind of them and much appreciated by those two old-timers and those folks around us.
Indeed it was. 22 years for you, 30 years for me. So it's been a long time courtside doing SEC games, and always Rupp Arena was one of our favorite destinations.
Absolutely. I mean, as many times we come in here, we are always... I'm entranced by the fans. I mean, they come in here and they're so well educated about the game, and it's been great fun for us.
So it has been a lot of fun. I like our last game at Rupp Arena, so that's why all the hoopla, but it was appreciated by the old timers.
Absolutely. Kind of our senior night too.
I guess so. Part of it that way. Senior part is right for sure. Kentucky leading by 7. Hand check foul on Harrelson, who just came in. Josh Harrelson.
Tom, that's a tough matchup for Harrelson there at the top of the circle because Tompkins is so quick with the basketball. He is 6'9", he's 247. Harrelson just about the same size, but Tompkins is really quick with those feet.
Kentucky has committed 4 fouls. Georgia whistled for 2 so far. Dogs finally get it in bounds, and Swansea sets up the offense. Barnes with a screen. Woodbury called for it. Found the open three-point shooter, but it won't go down for Swansea. And with 11 minutes left, it's Kentucky's ball. Tonight's game brought to you by Alltel, the official wireless partner of fans. Kentucky's played turnover-free basketball so far. Been one of the Wildcats' problems all season.
It has indeed. Excuse me. They had a couple of times during the season where it came down a little bit, but then the numbers went back up. Look at that rebound by Patterson.
Missed the follow, however. Here's Harrelson, and he's fouled by Tompkins.
I'll tell you, another problem that has plagued Kentucky this year has been offensive rebounding. Tonight they're doing a good job against a Georgia squad that has some pretty good sized players in there. I mean, Tompkins is big at 6'9", Woodbury at 6'6", and even Barnes, who was in there battling too, is around 6'8".
Harrelson's free throw, good. His first point. As Jackson and Butler return for Georgia. Jody Meeks, after a brief rest, is at the scorer's table. Harrelson hits 2 free throws, and Meeks returns. 23-14, approaching the midway point of the first half as Porter gets a hand from the fans. He helped on that 13-0 scoring run. Made a couple of threes, missed his last one. He's 2 for 3 from the arc. Porter gets a rest. Swansea, nice pass. Barnes throws it home.
Wasn't that a nice delivery of that pass? Swansea just caught him rolling to the basket. Look at Patterson work.
Beating the defense back down court, setting up really before Jackson can get position, and then a foul on Galloway as Georgia inbounds the ball.
The hero of this SEC game last year in the tournament against Kentucky, Zach Swansea, with a terrific pass down inside. And immediately Patterson comes right back with about 8 seconds to nail one over the glass. Swansea's numbers have really gone down this year. He hasn't played as many minutes as he had.
Playing time
was
really
drastic
in recent games. As we pass the midway point of the first half, McPhee. Swansea feeding the post. Jackson, nice shot over Patterson.
Basket by Jackson.
Pretty nice post moves down inside. Jackson and Patterson.
Meeks having to fight just to get possession. Butler's all over him now. Screen gets him free, but he misses the three. That's going to be a Georgia pushing foul on Barnes. His second foul.
Watch out for Jackson right here. He's got Patrick Patterson, who's one of the leading shot blockers in the conference, right behind him, and he still used that left hand to get it high off the glass.
Vanderbilt leading LSU early. 1-point game, Mississippi State and Florida in Starkville. And Arkansas and Ole Miss. Meeks just blew right by everybody. Missed it on the scoop shot. Claimed by Swansea. Nice pass to Tompkins. Probably got away with a walk, but scored.
But give Swansea another assist. That was a terrific pass from a long way away.
That's the lead to 5. Galloway. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
Tom, let's go back and review this pass by Zach Swansea. Look at that nice lead in front. Nice catch at the finish right there, too. And stick in the basket. Zach Swansea playing a little bit more tonight than he has been in the last few games.
Sophomore from Dunwoody, Georgia. Dunwoody High School.
Just around the corner.
From you.
From me.
Galloway hits the first free throw. That's his initial point of the game. Foul was on McPhee, I believe. His first. Eight Wildcats have scored here in the first half.
You know, one of the things Kentucky has done very well this year is shoot free throws. They had a couple of instances, 4 of their last 6 games, where they didn't shoot it well, but pretty much all season long, they've been pretty consistent around the 77 to 78 range.
For the best in the conference. Harrelson and Patterson combined to block the Jackson shot, but it's stolen away. And here's Woodbury for 3.
He gets that wide open. You can just about bank it.
He has a dozen points. 3 of 5 shooting. 2 for 2 from the three-point arc. Lob inside. Miller found Patterson, and it rolled off the rim. That'll be a travel. That's an unforced Swansea error, and the 5th Georgia turnover. As we look at our Haviland defensive shield, Kentucky leading the SEC in field goal percentage defense, allowing opponents to hit 38.3%. Wildcats with the ball up 4, 8 minutes to go in the half. Harrelson, way off.
You know, the one thing Kentucky's been able to do, they've been able to feed the post pretty easily. Just finishing.
Yeah. Backdoor cut, Woodbury. Fouled. Terrence Woodbury's been active tonight, has he not? Perry Stevenson commits his second foul. It's a 4-point Kentucky lead with 7:53 in the half. Tampa, as our coverage begins on Thursday at 1 o'clock on most of these Raycom stations.
I think every year I go to the tournament, the one thing I'm always anxious to see is which team, which surprise team is going to jump up and play really well in the tournament. What players that maybe during the season didn't perform very well all of a sudden become heroes. Like I said earlier, Zach Swansea was certainly a hero last year when he had that big shot against Kentucky to advance Georgia and get them to the championship game to win the title.
They weren't just surprised, they were a shock. Woodbury's already on his average as he shoots one more free throw. Nobody's missed at the free throw line tonight. Good free throw shooting by both teams. And Kentucky continues to play turnover-free basketball. By the way, we said 2 fouls on Stevenson as we went to break. It was actually only 1. And the Wildcat lead is trimmed to 2, 14 points for Woodbury.
this is the first time this year that neither Patterson or Meeks is on the floor for Kentucky.
You know, need him, says Perry Stevenson. I can show you I can hit the jump shot. He's the 9th Kentucky player to score in the first half. Woodbury had it knocked away for a moment. Got rid of it to Ware. Gives it right back to Terrence. He's had the hot hand this first half.
Tough matchup for Miller out front.
And Butler can't get it. It's a 6th turnover by the Bulldogs as Patterson returns. That pass from Woodbury to Butler just didn't bounce up, did it? It kind of
just
stayed flat.
Yeah, it did. It stayed right down on the floor almost.
So 6 turnovers to zip. Kentucky turnover free basketball. That's a rare thing. Kentucky has 4 steals as well. Miller looked like he had an aim on that 3 and couldn't hit it, but Butler does on the other end. Corey Butler, his first basket. 2-point game.
Butler and Tompkins among the regulars are their 2 best 3-point shooters.
Off for Patterson. Backside help from Georgia, and Butler then takes it away.
Well, teams are just surrounding him down inside. When he receives the ball down there, he's usually got 2, even 3 players, as Georgia just did to him.
There's one defender fronting him and one helping on the backside. They turn it over on the attempted entry to Jackson. Porter picks it off. Turnovers hurting the Bulldogs again. Stevenson faces, can't score. That's over the back, a foul on Patterson. Or maybe not, since he was knocked out of bounds. Going to be a Georgia score. Georgia foul. Albert Jackson committing number 2. Vanderbilt leading regular season champion LSU. Mississippi State ahead of Florida. See the other scores go by.
Oh, that's terrific steal down there by Tompkins.
Tompkins picked it off. And on the other end, that ball might have gone in had Barnes not hit it while it was up there on the rim. In any event, Butler will shoot 2 free throws after Meeks commits his first.
Corey Butler, the young man that went up and tried to put that ball in, tried to get the 3-point play. An interesting story. He's originally a walk-on. He tried out for the team. I think it was 2005 he decided to come out and try out.
He's on a non-athletic scholarship. He's a very good student, honor roll student. As the free throw goes down for Corey. He's a senior from Decatur, born in Atlanta, from Decatur. Played at Cross Keys High School where he scored over 1,500 points and was in the National Honor Society. Also played baseball.
I like to hear those stories. Those are really positive stories. Good young man right here.
Five points for Corey. And Georgia, improbably, back on top. DeAndre Liggins, the freshman, cut off. Tries it again, goes baseline, and throws it away. Threw it right to Corey Butler. Here comes Georgia.
Is that the first turnover?
Second turnover. 2 back-to-back turnovers now. They went so long without committing one, they have a turnover on consecutive possessions. Butler, nice ball fake. Got Ware open for the 3.
Boy, Georgia's doing a nice job on offense right now, and Bill Gillespie is upset.
So Georgia has taken a 4-point lead. This was Butler with a good ball fake, took a step in and found the open 3-point shooter Ware. Well, coming up, starting Thursday, March 12th, St. Pete Times Forum in Tampa. Our coverage of the SEC tournament presented by Haviland begins at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 12 noon Central. Haviland brings you all the action through the semifinals on Saturday from Tampa, the SEC tournament next week. Well, Pete Herman, the veteran coach of the Georgia Bulldogs, talking to us before the game and said it's a difficult situation. He's a veteran coach. He said, I've been coaching for 40 years and I hope to keep up, but this is a very difficult situation. But his players are playing hard for him tonight and playing well, leading Kentucky 33-29 on the Wildcats senior night.
Tommy's had a couple of big wins here lately. I mean, the win over Florida was gigantic for them. And of course, they beat Vanderbilt, so they've had 2 good SEC wins under his coaching.
3 turnovers for the Wildcats now, after going so long without committing a single one. Patterson, ball fake. They made him change his shot, and he missed it. Boy, they collapse inside the Georgia defense. They have their post fundamentals down tonight. Ware, nowhere to go with that one. He lost it. He took it in there and had nothing he could do with it. And nobody stopped Miller. And Tompkins thought he had the block. Instead, he has the foul. Trey Tompkins. That's number 2.
I don't know how Miller would have gotten that shot off. I mean, he was floating by the basket. He was already about 6 feet to the left of the basket, was trying to turn around and shoot a very difficult shot.
Kentucky 7 for 7 at the free throw line, and Georgia's 8 for 8.
Tom, I talked about Darius Miller earlier. I mean, this young man is freshman out of Maysville, Kentucky. He really has picked up his scoring. He's averaging 5 a game, but the last 5 games, he's averaged just a little over 9 points a game. And the rest of his game is good, too. I mean, he defends well, he rebounds well.
Kentucky Mr. Basketball a year ago, leading Mason County to the state championship, averaging 20 points and 8 boards, scored over 2,000 points. Just celebrates his 18th birthday on the 21st of this month. Tompkins, nice pass, and somehow or other Meeks got in there to disrupt the shot. Barnes looked like he had an easy one. Here's Miller, good.
Boy, good spin move right there. I gotta tell you, Pete Herman is off the bench. He was really upset. He thought Meeks grabbed him underneath.
Tied at 33. Woodbury, collision. Harris took it away. And then trying to get it back, Barnes commits the foul. .331 left in the opening half. There's Meeks, made the defensive play. While most schools have senior nights, at Kentucky it takes on special meaning for players and fans. The highlight is the singing of My Old Kentucky Home.
Hard times comes a knocking at the door. Then my old Kentucky home, good night.
That was the late A.B. Happy Chandler, former Kentucky governor in 1987. Senior night at Rupp Arena, one of college basketball's great traditions. And that's our champion, How You Play. And it is senior night at Rupp Arena, but they had only one senior player to honor, Jared Carter, who got the start tonight as the Committee of 101 wishes him the best of luck. And you know, throughout the Southeastern Conference, Larry, senior nights are a little light. This league is so young.
So very young.
And Kentucky with only one senior to honor tonight. Jared Carter got a bucket and a rebound as he got the start tonight.
And sometimes I think, Tom, that is overlooked around the country by the media people, the people that follow college basketball, about how young this league is. I mean, there's so many quality freshmen and sophomores in this conference. You know, it'd be interesting. I know you could probably run the statistics, but find out if the SEC does have the youngest conference in the country.
Harris got the bounce on the second free throw. Neither team has missed at the free throw line tonight. Kentucky is 11 for 11, Georgia 8 for 8, and they'll be going back to the free throw line there as Woodbury is fouled.
The foul is on Harris. That's his second. The team's eight.
Second foul on Harris. We update the SEC action for you. Vanderbilt continues to lead LSU. And Mississippi State at halftime, 42-33. Kentucky and Florida tied for third in the SEC East coming in. South Carolina and Tennessee tied for first. And they'll be playing tomorrow night in Columbia. Woodbury already with 15 points. continues to knock down the free throws. Both teams do. Fundamental basketball. You like to see that. And with 3 minutes to go in the half, we're tied for the 6th time. Jody Meeks. Partially blocked. Tompkins hauls it down. Meeks has had a tough time tonight.
He has. They have really reined him in.
Nice Woodbury move. Dishes, and the throwdown from Barnes and one. Woodbury made that happen with a great pass.
Tom, on both ends of the floor, Chris Barnes just did something really good. One was the block on the other end against Jody Meeks, and then he catches the ball and has a chance for a three-point play here. Chris Barnes with a terrific first half.
And Woodbury with a good assist to go with all his scoring here in the first half. First missed free throw of the game, out of bounds. Who hit it last? They say Georgia. It'll be off Butler.
It's always my feeling when you've got a team that gets 60 to 65% of their baskets with an assist, you're doing pretty well. It means you're moving the ball, getting it to the open man.
Porter for three.
He still got it going.
He's hit 3 of 4 from the three-point arc and has 9 points for Porter. And Kentucky back on top. Then the Wildcat foul whistled on Darius Miller. Here's Woodbury back at the free throw line.
He's made a living there tonight.
Why not? He's an 83% free throw shooter, second to Jody Meeks in the SEC stats. And it looks like it, doesn't it? Beautiful stroke, beautiful stroke. Excellent free throw shooting on both ends. Woodbury continues now with 18 first half points. He had a 32-point game against Florida earlier this season. Backside help, Woodbury deflects it out of bounds. Let's update our text of war. We're asking you to vote on the Kentucky MVP, and 74% go for Jody Meeks. You can get in on the action. Text S1 or S2 to 55333. Stolen. Butler to the trailer. Woodbury for three. It's good. And Woodbury now with 21 first half points. Wow, is he ever hot.
Tom, he's well on his way to a career high. I mean, 21, the only average is 13.
And he's 3 for 3 from three-point range. Well, quite a difference tonight.
Terrence Woodbury right here. I'll tell you what, Patterson almost got that ball as he went by, but Woodbury got the release, gone into the basket before he could block it.
Quite a difference tonight between the earlier meeting in Athens in January, where Kentucky never trailed. They had balanced scoring that night. Jody Meeks had 22, Patrick Patterson 15, Terry Stevenson had 13, as the Wildcats in Athens that day won their third straight game and their ninth of the previous 10. 68-45, no contest. But here tonight, Billy Gillespie's Wildcats have run up against a buzzsaw in the Georgia Bulldogs, who came to Rupp Arena ready to play. They lead it 42-38 behind 21 first half points from Terrence Woodbury. Back door. Harris from Porter.
They concentrated the defense so much on Patterson underneath, they forgot about the cut. Nice move, nice pass down the inside, and the finish by Harris.
7 points for Ramon. Double team. Bounce pass is Ware. Ball fake. Dishes it. That's Woodbury for three, and he got another one. No, it's Tompkins for three that time. So Trey lives up to his name. 3-3 for three, and he has 7 first half points. Only natural, I would think, is Woodbury.
I know. Watch Kentucky right here. Watch Harris make the sneak move down the inside. They just forgot all about him because of Patterson being on the other side of the lane. And then Trey Tompkins catches on a nice pass by Ware into the corner. Boy, is Georgia shooting the three well tonight.
They are 7 of 9. That's pretty About as good as you can get. They're the turnovers now. Kentucky went a long time without any. Now they've committed 5. Off the glass that time. It was Ware, I believe, that got it.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Here's Porter for 3. He's still hot. Michael Porter keeping the Cats in it. He has 12 in the first half.
Well, this might be the best first half of three-point shooting I've seen all season.
Ware lost it. Here's Porter dishing. Meeks. Blocked. And then a foul. Looked like Meeks was raked across the arm, but that wasn't the call. I think the call was on the Patterson follow.
One of the things that Georgia's been able to do tonight, not only keeping the ball away from Patterson, but they've really been able to shut Meeks down. Nice pass by Porter right here. He did get fouled. Got hammered pretty good, in fact.
Well, they did call the foul on Tompkins, and it's his third foul on Trey Tompkins. That's big. With 40 seconds left. Patterson at the line.
I'm surprised he's still in there. They got somebody wait. Yeah, Jackson's coming in for him.
Announcers for this game selected and compensated by Raycom Sports. Any use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Raycom Sports is prohibited. Patrick Patterson shooting for his 8th point. 4 blocks and 5 boards for Patrick. Cuts the lead to 2.
Ware's just going to walk it up. Georgia would like to run as much clock as they can on this possession.
Pete Herman says, let's try to get to final shot. There's going to be about a 5-second differential.
Nice defensive job by Miller that time by keeping Butler out.
And Miller poked it away. Here's Galloway to Harris. That'll be an intentional foul. That was not a smart move. Disaster hitting Georgia here in the final seconds as Butler commits the intentional foul, his second, and Kentucky with 15 seconds left will get the free throws and the basketball.
Miller got the steal, and there's the grab right there. As you can see, Harris trying to go up. Kentucky has a chance to take the lead in this first half after falling behind by 7 in the last minute and 30 seconds.
Harris has had that good scoring first half. That's 8 points. Well, Pete Herman's team turned it over and then committed the intentional foul. Disaster striking here in the final seconds of the first half when they had played so well.
Watch Miller right here defensively, just slap it away. Nice pickup again. Down inside, Galloway delivers the pass, and you can see Harris. They didn't even attempt to grab the ball. Who was it, Butler that committed the foul?
Yes.
Yes.
So now Kentucky gets possession of the basketball with 15 seconds. Lob to Patterson for the throwdown. And Woodbury quickly the other way. Blocked by Stevenson. Follow shot by Barnes is not there. Miller rebounds, and that's the end of the half.
Oftentimes when you run your out-of-bounds plays, you don't get a good enough look. That's a good look.
Look good to Cat fans as Kentucky comes from behind to lead by 2 at intermission.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention.
SEC basketball presented in high definition. We're available by Raycom Sports.
Very entertaining first half. It's remarkable that Kentucky was able to score that, go on that 9-0 run, and they did it in 46 seconds.
Second half underway with our producer Roger Roebuck, director Dave Burchett, Tom Hammond, Larry Conley courtside at Rupp Arena. Pass a little too tall for Patterson to catch, and Woodbury has it for Georgia.
For Kentucky, their 6th turnover of the evening. Porter trying to put some pressure on Butler out front.
Woodbury, see if he still has the hot hand. Nice catch by Tompkins. What a beauty. And that's the 9th tie of the game. Points for 9 ties, 9 lead changes now. In fact, they're two. Patterson goes.
Sherman would stand for that.
Porter deflects it out of bounds.
With him.
Butler hits a 3 after Woodbury threaded his way along the baseline. Georgia by 1. Galloway collision, no call, and a turnover. Woodbury leads the break. Kentucky got back, but trailing, Tompkins hits the 3.
Well, the freshman is lighting it up right now.
12 points for Tompkins, and Georgia's hit 9 of 12. Sloan blocked by Jackson. Stolen back by Galloway. His shot no good, and Butler rebounds. Butler needs somebody to come to the ball. Finally, it's Ware.
Well, it's an excellent start in the second half for Georgia.
Ware, pull up. It's good. Georgia continues to shoot lights out. 10 points for Ware. For the game, Georgia has hit 18 of 35. 51% shooting. Miller lobs over the head of Harrelson. Kentucky turnover.
All of a sudden, a total breakdown on the offensive end for Kentucky. Nice catch and a good finish by Butler right there as he nails a 3. Nice pass again. Turn around, just looked straight back by Woodbury, and there he was, standing wide open. And again, Ware with a nice move across the lane for a deuce.
Boy, hats off to the Georgia Bulldogs. They said they had nothing to play for. They're taking it right to Kentucky tonight. And a loss by Kentucky to Georgia might sink their NCAA chances. Five to shoot. Ware is fouled. Kentucky bails him out with a foul. 5 to shoot. He had his back to the basket. Nowhere to go with it. And Sloan commits the foul.
Bill Gillespie on one knee right there as we take a look at the profile of Kentucky for the NCAA tournament. That RPI at 66 doesn't help much.
And a loss to the 11 and 18 Georgia Bulldogs on your home court on senior night might be
more than they can overcome. That's right.
Woodbury had his shot blocked, and then the Cats throw it away. Trying to get Harrelson on the break. Another Kentucky turnover.
Top of it is 3 consecutive trips now that Kentucky has turned the ball over.
And 4 times in the half. In 4 minutes. As Coach Gillespie continues to play with only one starter, Michael Porter. Ware curls, dishes. Tompkins. Good. Nice work by the Bulldogs inside. They're up now 61-53. Galloway came out. Miller with an offensive board. Puts it up. And no good. Came away. Rebounded by Tompkins, and then a Kentucky foul in backcourt on Sloan, his second. The Georgia Bulldogs in last place in the SEC East come to Rupp Arena on senior night and have the Wildcats on their heels. 61. Georgia, a 23-point loser to Kentucky in the earlier meeting in Athens, leads 61-53. Let's update our Alltel text of war. Kentucky's MVP, well, it's gotten a little closer here in recent minutes. Jody Meeks still leads Patrick Patterson 59 to 41%. You can text your vote, and we'll check on it one more time before we're finished tonight. And Jody Meeks is back. So is Terry Stevenson. So is Patrick Patterson. And Kentucky, Ramon Harris comes back too. So the normal starting quintet is out there again. And there's a Kentucky steal. Meeks. And
Sometimes it takes your defense to get your offense going. Jody Meeks, good anticipation right there to pull that ball away and then go to the other end, and Ware should have just let him go.
Foolish foul by Ware. We'll hear it from Pete Herman. So Coach Gillespie sending a message to his starters, puts them back in, and they immediately respond with a steal, a bucket, and a three-point opportunity, which Meeks converts. And just like that, it's 61-56, 8 points for Meeks. Zach Swansea is out there for Georgia now, guarded by Porter. See the second half field goal shooting. And a Kentucky foul.
Tompkins was forced to a higher post position that time, and Stevenson reached around him as he went out to get the ball.
Vandy continues to lead LSU, and Mississippi State, that's gotten a little tighter now. Butler guarded by Meeks. Tompkins turnaround, front rim, back rim, down for Tompkins.
Woodbury with the first half was outstanding. It looks like Tompkins is going to carry him in the second half, at least to this point.
He has 16 points in the game. Meeks, he'll shoot too. So Meeks obviously has decided to take the game on his shoulders.
Watch right here, Trey Tompkins with that nice little turnaround move, gets the friendly roll on the rim. Trey Tompkins, the freshman, having a good second half.
Albert Jackson commits his third foul for the Bulldogs. And the best free throw shooter in the SEC, Jody Meeks, can reach double figures. Here's Darius Miller replacing Stevenson. And McPhee for Jackson.
One of the great free throw shooters of all time, as we see Jody Meeks' free throw percentage, was Kyle Macy here. I think was the all-time leader, at least in season free throw shooting. Meeks might challenge that.
10 points for Jody. Lead back to 5. Nobody open. Swansea needs help. Tompkins comes to get it. Kentucky's turned the defense up a notch.
A lot more aggressive on the defensive end.
10 to shoot. Swansea pull up. Tough shot. Battle for it, and a foul on Georgia as Patterson is knocked to the court. It's on Woodbury. First foul on Terrence.
Watch down underneath right here. You'll see. There's a good rebound again by Patterson, and Woodbury just late getting there. Patrick Patterson has a great nose for the ball. He really does.
Meeks.
Well, I guess he's just decided to take over the game for Kentucky in the second half.
Here's a steal by Meeks. Meeks, pull up, three. No good. Rebound by Barnes, but taken away. Stolen by Harris. Here's Porter's three. No good. Miller. Cuts the lead to 1. Jody Meeks taking the game on his shoulders, turning it up offensively and defensively, but this time it was the freshman Miller that got the UK bucket. Kentucky on a 9-2 run over the last minute and a half has carried them to within 1 of Georgia. Watch for Geico's Best of 2009, a traveling tour celebrating the best games, players, and performances of the year. Go to raycomsports.com for more information. Find out when Geico will be visiting a college campus near you. Jody Meeks leading that 9-2 Kentucky run. Check in Patrick Patterson now. The Huntington votes have come in. Has passed Jody Meeks.
Now, there'll be a few Georgia votes vote in there too. His home state of Georgia, Jody Meeks.
Right now, it's Meeks that has led the Kentucky comeback since he and the starters came into the game.
Georgia looking a little unsure of themselves on the offensive end right now. Part of it is that defense by Kentucky.
That was kicked by Patterson. Woodbury would have been wide open. Jody Meeks.
Meeks with only 3 points in the first half. 1 of 6 shooting. Has really turned it up here in the second half.
9 points already in this Kentucky comeback for Meeks. Shot clock at 8. 4 to shoot. Butler feeds inside. Tompkins blocked by Patterson.
What is that, 5 blocks for him tonight?
5 block shots for Patrick Patterson. Meeks comes to get it. Pulls up, three-pointer on its way, no good. Patterson tapped it to himself. Here's his follow, no good. And rebounded by Butler.
Georgia needs something positive to happen right now. For about the last 3 minutes, nothing much is positive for them.
Woodbury missed the shot. He was wide open, but kept alive by Tompkins, I think. And the Bulldogs retain.
Miller's got Tompkins, the 2 good freshmen right there.
And about 3 minutes since they had a field goal, the Bulldogs, and they'll go to the free throw line there as Woodbury is fouled, or if they rule he was in the act of shooting. Miller commits number 2.
Woodbury going back to the line where he has made a living tonight.
To the tune of 10 for 10.
But we have a free throw shoot off between Woodbury and Meeks.
1 and 2 in the conference. Meeks 1, Woodbury 2. Woodbury 83, Meeks 89. Here's Ware giving Woodbury a rest. Terrence Woodbury with 23 points. Those were his first 2 points of this second half. Almost 8 minutes into it. Miller throws it up there at the basket.
Player control foul.
And he'll be called for the offensive foul. A little out of control that time. Darius Miller will send it Georgia's way. That's his 3rd foul. Bad pass. Meeks deflects it out of bounds. Well, most people expected a Kentucky blowout on senior night. They were almost 20-point favorites. No doing here. The old guys take a bow, and the Bulldogs came to play. Just moments for that young Wildcat fan. His team is down 3 with 11:44 to go. And this Saturday, our Raycom All-Tel SEC wildcard doubleheader starts at 2 Eastern as South Carolina travels to Athens to meet these Bulldogs. Could obviously be huge in the SEC East standings. Then in the nightcap, 4 o'clock Eastern time, it'll be the 1-2 teams from the West, LSU and Auburn. So a wildcard doubleheader with lots of implications this Saturday. Gamecocks and Bulldogs 2 Eastern, LSU and Auburn at 4.
What a terrific job Jeff Lebo has done at Auburn.
Coming off a win over their arch rival last night, Alabama. Butler forced that one. And Patterson has it for Kentucky. Georgia's last field goal came at the 14:58 mark. Kentucky's last field goal at 13:44. So a drought on both ends. Taken away from Harris.
Pretty good play. That looked like Chris Barnes that got his hand up there and slapped it away.
It was Barnes that got his hand in there to knock it away. Georgia possession. Backdoor cut saved twice. Now here's Barnes down low against Patterson. Porter comes to help and rips it away. 3-on-2. Harris, Porter. And that'll be offensive foul, Porter. Kentucky had a 3-on-2 break and handled it atrociously.
Oftentimes when a coach has a break like that, he tells his guy with the ball in the middle to just stop. Porter out of control. He tried. I'm not sure that wasn't a flop. That was very little contact in that one.
Still, the man in the middle should stop at the free throw line, right? And
absolutely.
he had a man at the rim and a man spotted for three. He had his choice, and that's what Billy Gillespie, no doubt, is saying to him now after the 11th Wildcat turnover. Ware dishes to Butler, who missed it. Here's Jackson. He goes up. It's blocked. Woodbury comes away with a jump ball called.
Tom, I'm not sure Patterson didn't get 2 blocks on that play. Let's go back and take a look again. Watch Patrick Patterson right here. I'm not sure he got that one. That's certainly the second one he got a piece of.
And on the held ball, it'll be Georgia's possession as Perry Stevenson comes back in for Harris. Here's a look at Patterson, who's been a terror in the block shot department tonight.
So the question I think the officials are asking is, did that first shot hit the rim? Are they going to set it at 35 and let it? Well, they took 3 seconds off because play continued after the ball hit the rim.
So 32 on the shot clock as Georgia inbounds. Woodbury held to only 2 this second half after 21 in the first. Barnes against Stevenson. Tough shot.
Tell you one thing, Chris Barnes has been some kind of active in this game.
7 points for him. That one right over Perry Stevenson.
Sophomore grew up right in the shadows of the Atlanta airport.
College Park, Georgia. Halfway through the second period of play with Stevenson shot good. Pretty shot by Perry Stevenson.
It's almost like Georgia was ignoring him, like he didn't and couldn't make that shot.
That'll be an offensive foul called on Ware. Dustin Ware with an offensive foul.
Nice dump down. Now watch again the good spin move right there. Barnes almost lost it, got it back in control and got the basket. And Stevenson with a nice little lane move right there, cutting across about 8 feet out and right in front of the basket.
Kentucky with the ball down 3.
Meeks having a hard time shaking Butler.
Collision as Ware undercut Patterson, trying for the backside help.
It's almost automatic when the ball goes to Patrick Patterson down on the block. You'll almost see 2 Georgia Bulldogs, 1 in front, 1 in back, sometimes even 3 coming in there to surround him. Pete Herman's decision to try to shut Patterson down has paid dividends, at least to this point.
3 fouls on Ware. Georgia has committed 5. Kentucky whistled for 16 fouls in the second half. 9.5 to go. Patterson a screen for Meeks. Meeks threading his way through traffic. Lost it. Picked off by Barnes. Here's Georgia 2-on-2. Ware to Woodbury. Back to where they'll set it up. Kentucky hustling back on defense.
Meeks had ideas of getting a steal right there. Miller almost got it.
Leaving Woodbury open, and Terrence connects. That's his first field goal of the second half, but he has 25 points.
You're going to gamble against Woodbury. You better get the ball. You don't want to leave him open.
Kentucky keeps turning up the pressure, and Georgia has not wilted. Nice catch, Patterson. Blocked by Barnes. Can't remember a game when we've seen so many blocked shots.
Ware's trying to direct traffic out there. He wants somebody to come out and help him.
Barnes does. Defense doesn't come with him. Woodbury, a 3. Oh, it looked pretty all the way, right over Miller. Miller had good defensive position, but the rotation right in front of us from Woodbury was perfect. He has 28 big points, and Georgia 72-64. Again, the Bulldogs have not wilted under the intense Kentucky pressure.
Awfully good play right here. Watch Woodbury. Little jab step to the right and got it right up over Miller's hand.
Look for the Toyota Info Center at raycomsports.com. That's raycomsports.com. Look for the Toyota Info Center for online SEC basketball information.
Every time Kentucky starts to get close, Georgia starts to extend the lead. They built it back out to 8 now.
I can't tell you how impressed I am by this Georgia team. Only 2 conference victories coming in here. Big underdogs tonight. And Pete Herman, apprehensive before the game, had them ready to play. They have played hard, and for a team like this, often you'll see a team in this situation just quit, just pack it in, maybe give a little resistance early and then just mail in the rest of it. Not so the Bulldogs tonight. They have played for their interim coach Pete Herman tonight and have played all out.
Well, they've gotten a terrific offensive performance by Terrence Woodbury tonight. You've mentioned the way he's played. Tompkins has played well on both ends of the court. Can't say enough about the play of Chris Barnes, who's doing all the dirty work tonight.
Meeks. Tough shot. He might have forced that one a little bit, and Tompkins the rebound. Here's Woodbury against Porter. Feeds it back outside.
It's a good move by Stevenson to go out and cover Tompkins quickly because he can shoot the three.
Ware bricks a three-pointer shot. I don't know about that shot selection. Patterson the rebound. 9 boards for him. Stevenson just inside the arc, rimmed out. Woodbury the rebound. Up arena crowd in stunned silence.
Yeah, and that defensive pressure that Kentucky was exerting early is gone now. Bulldogs showing a lot more confidence on offense.
Ware off a curl. Lost his defender. Dishes it, and the basket good by Tompkins. Ware made it happen. 18 for Tompkins.
I tell you, Dustin Ware has progressed so well this year as a freshman.
10-point lead for the Bulldogs. Stevenson fouled by Barnes. That'll be 3 on Barnes, but Georgia has built a 10-point lead. Will this be the NCAA death knell for the Wildcats? Terrence Woodbury and Trey Tompkins have combined for 46 of Georgia's 74 points, and they have their biggest lead, a 10-point margin. As we take our final look at our Alltel Text of War, the Kentucky MVP this season, well, close, as you would expect. Meeks 52%, 48% for Patrick Patterson. But the Wildcats are going to need both of their MVPs here in the final 6 minutes, 40 seconds if they're to pull this one out. Down 10.
Tom, I think Georgia's done a terrific job defensively on Patterson on the inside. I know he's going to get a double-double tonight, but he has had great difficulty with almost every basket that he has scored.
Backdoor, Meeks. Fouled. Tompkins. That's the 4th foul on Trey Tompkins.
I will tell you, nothing has come easy for Kentucky, particularly down inside with the Bulldogs swarming all around anybody who brings that ball in there.
Jody Meeks to the free throw line. Meeks 5 for 5 at the stripe. That's 13 points for him. He is 0 for 4 from the three-point arc tonight, the best three-point shooter in the league. 1-point game now, Vandy and LSU. Tigers coming back as they have done all season long. Mississippi State putting it out against the Florida Gators. Wouldn't that be something if both Kentucky and Florida lost tonight? They play on Saturday. Came in tied for 3rd behind South Carolina and Tennessee, tied for the lead in the SEC East. They play tomorrow night.
And now that defensive pressure comes back again. Porter out there all over Swansea.
Ware made a nice catch, fouled by Meeks. And that's 7 against Kentucky, so to the Georgia line to shoot 1+1. That's the good news if you're a Georgia fan. Of course, the bad news is that as a team, the Bulldogs hit only 62.8, next to last in the league. However, tonight they have been nearly perfect, 14 of 15. Dustin Ware will get the bonus.
You know, sometimes when you've got nothing to play for except to just go out and play the game, you relax a little bit. And I think that's what has happened to Georgia tonight. They've come in here and realizing that there's very little for them to play and look forward to after the season is over with. But tonight they have played remarkably well.
Equaling their biggest lead as the clock ticks down towards 6 minutes. Swansea Deflects out of bounds on the pass intended for Miller.
Swansea almost took a header over there.
Kentucky won a laugher in Athens in January. 23 points, and it wasn't even that close. And here is Georgia coming to Rupp Arena on senior night, the last game at home for the Wildcats, and leading by 10. Stevenson.
Nice pass by Meeks that time. They doubled up on Meeks outside. They just left Stevenson alone. I don't think they respect his offensive shooting ability.
He has 6 points. Here's Ware working on Meeks, scooping to Woodbury, reverse. Oh, got the roll on the reverse.
Man, what a night Woodbury is having.
30 points. Meeks right back, hit the bottom of the basket, and Woodbury has it for Georgia.
Meeks is trying everything he possibly can to get his club back.
Is he trying too hard?
Too hard.
Forcing him there.
Absolutely.
Georgia, as you might expect, in no hurry, with the ball up 10.
Meeks has Ware out front. Good screen by Barnes.
Here's Woodbury, 30-point night. Taken away by Stevenson. Kentucky has it. Here's Porter. Miller for 3. 2 Bulldogs couldn't pick it up, and Stevenson slams it home.
Tom, if Kentucky comes back to win this game, you may look at that play right there. All of a sudden, it's gotten this crowd on their feet.
2 Georgia players had an easy rebound. Neither one of them grabbed it, and Stevenson had the easy one. Lead is 8. Butler falls down. Got rid of it, though. Shot clock at 10. That's going to be a foul on Jody Meeks. Look at this.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to be in the right place at the right time. Darius Miller with a miss right here, and 2 dogs go after it, and then the ball gets loose, and Stevenson cleans it up.
Stevenson got the easy one as Dustin Ware. Kentucky 20 for 20, 16 of 17 for the Bulldogs. That one no good. Front rim on the front end of the bonus. Kentucky has not hit a 3-point field goal in the second half. They're 0 for 4. Here's Patterson out to get it. Back to Porter. Deflected by Swansea, but right to Patterson. And a Georgia foul on Swansea.
Kentucky was really lucky that time, Tom, because offensively, I'm not sure they knew what they were doing. The ball just got tossed around out there, and Patterson happened to be in the right spot to grab it out of the air.
Galloway gives Meeks a brief rest as Patterson goes to the free throw line. Patrick, one of the best free throw shooters in the league, 5th. And Patterson, 12 points and 9 rebounds tonight. Here's number 13. Tonight's game brought to you by Alltel, the official wireless partner of fans.
Patrick having another good game tonight.
13 points, 9 rebounds, and we think 5 blocked shots. So Meeks gets a rest, and the Wildcats have cut the lead to 6 with 4 minutes left.
Ware's going to back everybody off. They'll try to work one-on-one against Galloway out front.
24,000 on their feet at Rupp Arena. Woodbury guarded by Miller. Run into him, no whistle. Picked up. Ware's shot, no good. Galloway has it. Galloway lobs to Patterson. Patterson finds Stevenson as they move it around the horn. And now we'll set it up. Patterson comes out to get it. Billy Gillespie calling something from the bench. Here's Galloway. Galloway tried to get it to Patterson, and it was picked off by Woodbury. Costly Kentucky turnover there as we come to 3 minutes. Porter called for the personal foul. 2:53 left. Georgia bidding for the huge upset. 78-72. Back after this from your local SEC station. You have to say this has been a shock. Look what Georgia has done. 51% shooting, 71% from three-point range, 16 of 18 from a poor free throw shooting team. Wow.
Those last two columns right there, probably the most important two columns for the Bulldogs so far tonight, is that three-point shooting and that free throw shooting.
Good shooting covers up a lot of ills.
It does indeed. Bulldogs haven't turned it over as much in this second half as they did in the first half. They had 10 turnovers in the first half.
Vanderbilt with 3:50 leads LSU by 4. It's an 11-point Mississippi State lead. In that SEC East race, Tennessee and South Carolina play for the lead tomorrow night. And perhaps Kentucky and Florida will be out of it. Dustin Ware.
You know, Tom, I was talking earlier about all the good coaches this year. I think they're going to have a really difficult time picking the coach of the year in the Southeastern Conference. I mean, Darren Horn has done a terrific job over at South Carolina. This Trent Johnson down at LSU has won the Southeastern Conference already. And I talked about Jeff Lebo earlier. All three have done remarkable jobs this year.
8-point lead here. Kentucky's last lead was at 18-31 here in the second half. Stevenson cut off. Porter for three. It's good.
Boy, he's having a terrific shooting night. They need some defensive stops right now, Kentucky does.
Porter with 15 points, 5 of 7 shooting from the three-point range.
How about Michael Porter tonight? Probably having his best three-point shooting night of his career.
Where would Kentucky be if they haven't had that flurry before the half ended, when they were down 7 with a minute to go and came back to take the lead? Here's the timeout called by Butler to save a turnover.
Nice trap that time. Porter had him pinned on the sideline, and then Meeks came over. He had nowhere to go with the ball.
It's a 30-second timeout.
Well, we'll wrap up the regular season Sunday with an all-tell SEC game from Nashville as Arkansas comes in to face Vanderbilt at Memorial Gym. Arkansas and Vanderbilt this Sunday, 2 Eastern time, most of these Raycom stations. So a wild card doubleheader on Saturday and one more game on Sunday, and then we'll head to Tampa and the tournament. Tonight's telecast brought to you in part by Toyota.
Kentucky with only one timeout left. Georgia has just reduced their number. I think they've got 2 left. 2 total timeouts, and possession arrow does favor Kentucky.
Georgia inbounds. Dustin Ware, the freshman, handling it. Here's Butler for 3. Oh, a big basket by Corey Butler. Left open at the three-point line, and he knocked it down.
Boy, the three-point shooting by Georgia tonight has been as good as any team I have seen all season.
11 of 15 from three-point range for the Bulldogs. 73% from three-point land. As they commit the foul, that's something they did not want to do, was commit a foul. Kentucky led by Michael Porter, who has a career-high 15 tonight.
You know, it seems like every time we come in here, I'm just trying to remember back earlier in the season. Mississippi State shot threes well in here against them. South Carolina shot threes well in here against Kentucky.
Defending the three has obviously been a problem. 15 points for Meeks, who shoots for 16. Just over 2 minutes left.
As I said, they need stops. Kentucky has got to get the ball back. Probably a good guy to foul, Albert Jackson.
Patterson fouls Jackson, who's only a 58% free throw shooter. The Kentucky native, Albert Jackson, will go to the free throw line.
Tom, I'm watching Corey Butler over there talking to Dustin Ware, and I think the conversation might be, when we're inbounding the ball and we're in a tight situation, don't throw it to Jackson. Throw it to the guys who are the good free throw shooters. There's Ware right there, the freshman. He's had a good night.
So Jackson at the line again. He's only 58%. As a team, 18 of 20 for Georgia tonight. And that one looked awful. That one wasn't even close. They'll have one more. And Kentucky's over the limit. That's their 10th foul. Long rebound collared by Miller. Here comes Kentucky. Down 6 with 2 minutes left. Jody Meeks for 3. They're coming back again. First 3 of the game for Meeks. First one for Kentucky in the second half.
Georgia needs composure right now. And Kentucky needs to turn up that defense.
Woodbury had it slapped away by Miller momentarily. Shot clock at 10. Woodbury drives on Miller. Miller deflects it out of bounds. 3 to shoot.
Tom, that was excellent defensive work that time by Darius Miller watching Woodbury. He knew he was going to take it one-on-one down the middle. Couldn't find any help. He was right there with him. Patterson was trying to. Now Georgia's got 3 seconds.
3 seconds on the shot clock. Timeout Bulldogs, a 30.
Timeout Georgia. That is a 30-second timeout.
I think that's a good timeout by Pete Herman. They had 1 extra timeout to give, and he now can draw up his play.
Saturday, a couple wild card games for you. Big one here. Carolina goes to Athens to play the Georgia Bulldogs. If they have this kind of effort, that'll be formidable. And in the nightcap, it will be the top 2 teams in the SEC West, LSU at Auburn. That's an all-tell Raycon SEC doubleheader. Starts at 2 o'clock this Saturday on most of these stations.
It's been a good basketball game.
Yeah, you just can't say enough for the courage of the Georgia Bulldogs. Outman, big underdogs, 23-point losers at home to this Kentucky team. Not intimidated on senior night. They came in and they have given it their best shot. They lead by 3 with 1:23 left. Just 3 now, 3 on the shot clock. Tompkins lets it go. Off the front rim, no good. Porter has it. Porter for 3, partially blocked. Taken down by Ware of Georgia. He's hustling. It's 3 on 2. And Ware is fouled. It's going to be on Miller. It would have been on 5th on Porter, but they called it on Miller, I believe.
Porter in the corner over there in front of the Kentucky bench. And again, watch Ware here trying to go down the middle. Looked like Miller reached in and got him across the arm. How about that block by Trey Tompkins? It was Tompkins that got a little piece of Porter's shot there in the corner.
So Dustin Ware, 64% on the season. Tonight, 4 of 5. Clutch. 15 points for Dustin Ware.
I talked about the defensive work right here. You know what? He did not get there. It's just that Porter shot the ball short. I thought he might have gotten a piece of that.
Ware has his career high, 15 tonight. 16 for him now. Georgia just will not wilt. 85-80 with a minute left.
1 minute left in the game.
Jody Meeks, nice to the hoop, draws the foul.
Kentucky with the pressure on them right now, trying to get something going on the offensive end. The Bulldogs still have to maintain that composure. Not allow that meltdown to happen to them like it did at the end of that first half.
They led by 7 points with a minute 1 second to go in the half and wound up trailing by 2. Jody Meeks with 20 points, 17 of those in the second half. Miller goes out, Galloway in. Harris is going to come in, and Porter will go out. Michael Porter has 4 fouls. Pete Herman, what a job tonight, having his Bulldogs ready to play in a difficult situation. A rare miss by Jody Meeks. It's a 4-point game inside the final minute. Woodbury finally gets control. Cross-court pass to Jackson. Butler, they're playing a little keep away now. Ware ducks between defenders. Can't even foul him. They try to tie him up and take it away. Here's Galloway. Meeks, three-pointer. No good. Knocked out of bounds by Patterson. Georgia's ball with 28.9.
Boy, Meeks had a good look at the basket, too. He did a ball fake, and then when the defender flew by, he got himself set. He just couldn't make it. Patterson with a good effort on the rebound.
Here comes Ricky McPhee replacing Albert Jackson. Good substitution. Jackson, the poor free throw shooter. Finally lob it in, and Tompkins makes a nice catch. Then he lost it. Harris has it, and a foul on McPhee of Georgia.
What a strange play. Bulldogs having difficulty getting the ball in bounds that time. Pete Herman really upset with his club. The ball is just tossed up in the air right now. Tompkins doesn't realize he's getting defended from the backside. Good slap away that time by Galloway.
Yeah, that was Galloway that slapped it away, and then Harris grabbed it. So Ramon will go to the free throw line, where he's 4 for 4 tonight. Jackson is back, McPhee to the bench. Harris, second free throw. No good. Rebounded by Butler. It's a three-point game, and Butler dribbles his way out of the double team. Passes it to Tompkins. He's fouled as he took it to the basket.
A couple of very important free throws got away from Kentucky right there. One by Harris and one by Meeks. They could have had this game at a 1-point deficit. Now Tompkins with a chance to really put the pressure on Kentucky.
And Kentucky had not missed a free throw before the Meeks miss and then the Harris miss. Tompkins, that's his first attempt at the line, and he came up short. Kentucky for the night is 26 of 28 for 2 key misses. Porter and Miller are back in. Harris and Galloway go out.
This is a big free throw right here. It'll be a 2-possession game if Georgia can make this free throw.
The freshman. Got it.
Kentucky needs 2 scores now.
19 for Tompkins.
Woodbury with good pressure on Miller.
Miller all the way to the hoop. Blocked. Blocked by Tompkins. How did he do it without fouling? And then Porter has to foul Butler with 5.5 seconds left.
Georgia's going to win this game.
And a groan from the Big Blue faithful as Billy Gillespie, already under fire in some Wildcat quarters, is going to hear it after this. Our Red Lobster, nothing but net shot of the game.
It was Corey Butler with his 3-point field goal that really put Georgia back on top and really gave them confidence. Miller charged at him. It was too late. Butler's had a good ball game tonight.
And he will be at the Georgia free throw line with 5.5 seconds.
What a terrific effort tonight by Pete Herman and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Porter just found out of the game, and Mark Krebs replaces him. This will be a shocker when it's flashed around the college basketball world, and it just could be it for the Kentucky Wildcats. They now might be facing a championship in the SEC tournament to get to the NCAA tournament. And Mississippi State beat Florida. What about that? So Florida and Kentucky. It's going to be Tennessee and South Carolina playing for the SEC East title tomorrow. Meeks a long three. Too little too late for Jody Meeks. 1.2 seconds. Timeout Kentucky. I suppose stranger things have happened.
Timeout Kentucky.
Well, all Georgia has to do is just throw the ball to the other end of the court. It'd be difficult for Kentucky to get off any kind of shot.
Of course, it'll have to be touched inbounds for the clock to start. Otherwise, they'd come back to the point where it was entered. But that's unlikely to happen. 1.2 seconds left, 88-85. And several of the bracketologists, quote, around the nation opining on Kentucky's chances in recent days have said, well, they probably need to win out. But I'll tell you one thing, I think they said unanimously a loss to Georgia would just about do it.
Tom, this will really drive down their RPI number. They were struggling anyway with that 66 RPI number, and now with Georgia winning this game here tonight, it's going to drive it down any further. But I got to give Georgia a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah.
They came out and they played well. Terrence Woodbury had a great game. Got good play from their point guard, Dustin Ware, Corey Butler. Good play on both ends by Trey Tompkins.
Woodbury with 32, the top scorer in the game. Meeks leads Kentucky with 23. So South Carolina will have to go to Georgia on Saturday to close out the season. Tennessee will play Alabama. And South Carolina and Tennessee meeting tomorrow night, tied for first, as both Florida and apparently Kentucky fall tonight. 1.2 seconds left before it becomes official, and they have to get the ball in bounds. And they do to Ware, who is fouled with 0.3 of a second left.
For Georgia, only their third SEC win of the year.
And their first on the road. They were 0 for 9 on the road this season. They'd lost 14 of their last 16 games. Pete Herman can
look at that smile
huh?
on his face, huh? Corey Butler with an arm around Coach.
It has to be sweet for Pete Herman. Very, very sweet. In a difficult situation, his Bulldogs come into senior night of all things, where Kentucky has only lost a handful of games in their history, and defeat the Wildcats. Kentucky 83-5 all time on senior night, and defeated by the last place team in the league. Shocking. And the pressure will mount on Coach Gillespie. Ware hits 2 for 18 in the game. It's just a matter of inbounding the ball, and that's it. So here are the updated standings in the SEC East, and this is a big surprise. You knew Florida was going to have a tough game in Starkville, but you figured Kentucky would win. But here's the way it is now. South Carolina and Tennessee tied at 9-5. They'll play tomorrow night in Columbia. And Florida and Kentucky fall back out of that tie for third, and they fall a further game back behind the two leaders. It was senior night. Jared Carter, the lone Kentucky senior, and he got a bucket and a rebound, but the Wildcats found themselves at the mercy of a Georgia Bulldog team that came to Rupp Arena on senior night ready to play the favored Wildcats. Georgia carried the battle to them all night long. An impressive victory for the Bulldogs. Tough loss for the Cats. Tom Hammond for Larry Conley. You've been watching Raycom SEC Basketball.